Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
After the long weekend, the podcast is back.
Yes.
Holly.
Hi.
Let's just jump right into it because you, in a couple hours, are coming on over here to Charlotte or up here to Charlotte.
I'm coming to Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they say? Yeah. No, anyway, so I am. And that's the thing. Like, it's just been a bit of a whirlwind over the last several days. So my flight leaves at like 1:45. I still haven't packed. So I got to go put clothes together. And luckily, I'm getting pretty good at packing light, like packing expeditiously.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just throw stuff in my carry-on bag and then just go. And I got a TSA pre-check.
I need to do that.
You really do. I mean,
I do.
For me especially, it's super worth it. But if you fly, even a few times a year, it's probably worth it. Anyway, I'm a little bit frazzled today.
By the way, I forgot to tell you on the air or even off the air. Since you're coming here, I want to do the tortilla challenge.
Oh, where you slap each other with tortillas?
Yes.
Why you always gotta keep calling them tortillas?
I know. And then I mess up and do it in real life at a restaurant. And I'm always dang it.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. So you put water in your mouth and then you try to slap each other to see who can make the other person spit out the water. Yes. So I was like, I saw it last week and then you sent it to me as an idea. And I was like, gonna maybe have like you and your daughter do it and then Abe and I do it. And I'm like, nah, we need to wait since I knew you were coming this week. I was like, we got to do it when Holly's in studio.
I think you're right. Yeah, that one, every time I see it, it makes me laugh. And I'm like, this is so stupid, but it's funny. That's just funny. So yeah, okay, when are we going to do that? Because here's the only bad thing. When I come, the visit is so packed out. Right. There's zero time in between anything to do anything.
No, I know. It's like, do. That's why last night I legit was in the actual bed Monday night at about 8:25 because I was like, it's going to be busy. And then I leave on Friday to go to St. Pete for St. Pete Pride.
Right.
So I'm like, we're going to be like zoom. And then I'll be doing the show from Tampa next Monday and then fly back here. And then it's just so there'll be no time. So I'm like, this will probably be the last night I'll get to go to bed early and try to get some rest. So I'm like,
right.
It's lots
going on.
So we talked about on the last podcast that you did go out of town this weekend because you were going to visit your friend who is not doing so well.
Yeah. She has terminal brain cancer, glioblastoma. So we went, and I mean, I don't want to rehash the story about all that. You can listen to Friday's podcast, but it was just really good that we went. It was very sad, very bittersweet. And for something like that, like a glioblastoma, the progression happens pretty rapidly because I was looking back at our messages back and forth, and it's like they discovered that she had a new brain tumor in late August last year. And now we're not doing so well.
Jeez.
It's just fast. I got to meet her son, who is incredible. Such a great little boy. He's actually only 3 weeks younger than Maya. So, and I got to see her husband, who I've known since, we were all in college. But it was just really bittersweet. It was great because we got to reminisce a little bit, about college and all the other stuff that we have seen in the years past, and just poke at each other and tease each other. We played some card games and stuff, and it was really good that we were there. We did manage. I didn't know if she could go out of the house or not. So the two friends that I went with, the three of us were just going to go to dinner, and then she was like, "I thought we were all going to go to dinner," and I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Well, I didn't know. I wasn't sure." But we did And her husband was like, yeah, she can leave the house. It was very delicate, but we did go out to dinner, which I'm so glad for. I'm so glad we got to go out and have we just went to a little pub and we had dinner and whatnot. And then we brought her back home. So that was really good. And it just, my one friend, Christy, she was one of the ones that came with us. It was 3 of us girls and we went to visit our friend who's got the cancer. And, we were staying in a hotel, and I think our friend was mad at us because she kept being like, I don't know why you didn't stay at my house. And I'm like, there's enough going on.
Right.
I understand she wanted to be able to host, but at the same time, I was like, we all agreed, they don't need 3 extra people in the house. Because even if we're you don't have to worry about us. If you have a house guest, you're going to worry at least a little bit.
Mhm.
You're going to figure, do you have a towel?
Right.
I just didn't want to be that kind of a burden. So we stayed at a hotel. And the one thing that we talked about was how it's interesting that, if you were never part of a fraternity or sorority, you have all different kinds of opinions on them, right? You see what you see in movies. Maybe you think you paid for friends. I don't know. But all 4 of us were in the same sorority. And my friend Christy was like, it's just so interesting because sororities are just a lot of work, but also just so much fun. And so sometimes so drama filled in college and whatever. And there's drinking and there's just girl nights. And then you graduate and then you have a bunch of weddings to go to or people are having babies or whatever. But the 4 of us got to get together this weekend because we had that bond,
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we could have had that bond without the sorority, but we wouldn't have because I wouldn't have known the 2 other girls. So it's just reminded me that there really is a true sisterhood when you're in a sorority, and it was really good to feel that again.
Right.
And it's just so heartbreaking, It just really is so heartbreaking. And I'm going to try to make sure I call my friend more often and just check in. I don't want to really talk about her condition because it's not my business, but
Right.
it's difficult. And to give her husband a lot of credit, who's there with her. But on the days that he works, they have a caretaker come in. She calls her the babysitter and she rolls her eyes. She's like, my babysitter said I couldn't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know. And she's so sassy anyway, so I get it. But and I have so much stuff going on in my life too. And my one friend, we were in the same bed. We had the king size bed. One friend's on a couch, and my friend that was in the bed with me, as I'm telling them other stuff that's going on in my life with a lot. That night, she's like, do you want me to spoon you? I was like,
Wait,
yeah.
She said what?
Do you want me to spoon you? I was like, yeah. So we cuddled. It was just a good weekend. But sad.
Right.
But good. So overall, I'm very glad that we got to go. And then I had some downtime on Sunday to process, and we didn't work yesterday, which I was actually very glad for because it gave me a day to think about stuff. I had to go see my mom. That's a whole other thing. I am a little numbed out to my mom's situation right now because I got some other stuff going on in my life too. So yesterday was sort of a needed reset day. And then I travel again today. So let's go. It's just a lot of, this is crazy. Right. Okay, I feel like I've been rambling now for a while. So let me just stop.
No, you were just telling the story of what happened because we wanted to know how she was doing and how it went. And so that, is good to hear that you all were able to connect that way because that's what helps you get through those moments. It's not what we mentioned the other day where it's there's nothing, no magical saying, there's no magical meal, there's no magical anything. It's just that feeling of these are people that I have been around forever who know me. We have this common bond and we can just come together, reminisce, and just live a little tiny bit like how we used to when everything was carefree and we didn't have that many worries. And that's where the healing energy comes from and the love comes from. It's just in those really tiny moments.
Yeah, I agree. And it's good to be with people who, I said, who knew you when. And also shouts out, there've been a couple of M&H fan members that sent me Uber Eats gift cards, which they did not have to do at all. And it
Right.
was very kind. And I even said, I'm like, I don't even know. I'm such an independent, like weirdly, like to a fault, independent person. And I'm always the helper. Like, I don't really know how to accept help in sometimes. So just thank you.
Mm. But sometimes it's good. I remember when I was in high school, and I've talked about this before in the past, but for our new Charlotte fan members, you've heard me mention before in the show that I'm from Atlanta, but I grew up on the south side of Atlanta in Fairburn and didn't have any money, grew up very poor, and I was bussed up to Roswell,
Hmm.
to a very upper middle class area of Atlanta. And so there was lots of shame coming from me because of where I came from, seeing, the status and the material things that, all the other kids had, and the cars and the clothes and the trips, and coming back from summer vacation or Christmas break, and they'd be like, oh, I went to PCB or Destin or skiing or whatever, and I'd be like, well, I sat in my room by myself on my AOL chat rooms
Yeah.
watching TV, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of shame around that. And then when my senior year of high school, my grandmother bought a house, this tiny, tiny little house in Fairburn, Georgia. And it was literally could fit in like most of my friends from Roswell's like garage or like
Mhm.
just first floor. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. And I only had like one get together with my high school friends at this house. And it was like weeks in the preparation because it was a good hour drive from Roswell to where I lived.
Mhm.
And we ordered pizza, and I was just like nervous. And I remember one of my friends, Ryan, walked into the door, and you walked in through the back, through the kitchen. And my grandmother always had like this saran wrap there. And he walked in, looked around, went to the saran wrap, grabbed a piece off, and then just like playfully like try to put it over my face, just like, hey, haha, saran wrap or whatever. And it was so insignificant, so small. I'm sure he would never in a million years remember that moment. But to me, it just made it normal that he was like, oh, you stay at my house all the time, and I feel comfortable in your house. That this is
Mm.
just a normal, fun moment where we're just joking around as 16, 17-year-olds. And I'll never forget thinking in that moment that that's where friendship is. In those like little tiny moments that the other person doesn't even know that you were showing me love and appreciation, and you were showing me that, oh, even though the house I grew up in across town is humongous and we have all these material things, we're just friends, and you're there to emotionally support me and I'm there to emotionally support you, all through stupid saran wrap.
Mm. Okay.
And
I
so
like that.
to me, that's why I say when you're like, I'm rambling, I'm like, no, those are the little tiny moments that you take away. And the other person doesn't even know half the time, and they forget that they even did that. But
Yes.
those are the
Oh my
most
God.
powerful moments right there.
The other girls were sharing these things that like I said or I did because apparently we had gone to some girl's wedding back in like '05, and it was like December, but we had to have coats on because it was snowing. We're gonna have to go outside to see her arrive in like a carriage, and we were all like carriage, but we had to wait in the church in the coats before we could go outside. And I apparently said, "I'm sweating like a whore in church," and then I went, "Oh my God, we're in church," and I was
Oh,
like, my dumbass. Like, I probably did that all on purpose, and they thought it was hilarious. And they were like, remember when you said that? And I'm like, I'm embarrassed that that version of me said that in that moment. I'm sorry about that. They're like, no, it was so Holly O'Connor. And I'm like,
you're like, yes, thank you.
Okay. Well, there it
Absolutely.
is.
Well,
So
no, it's
anyway, yes, I get it.
one, two, also like on that theme, I had like 3 different friends come through Charlotte this past weekend. Stacy, and Alan is asking on the Facebook page, is this from today's show? This is actually like us doing it live on Tuesday at 10:32 p.m. The podcast right now on Facebook. So thank you.
This is not the show. This is the podcast.
Yes, you can listen to the show on the iHeartRadio app, Miguel and
Yes.
Holly full show.
But this is different.
Yes, and Stacy, soul worker Stacy, was driving through, and so got to have lunch with her at Optimus Hall Friday, which was really good to see her. Haven't seen her since I moved.
Yeah.
And then my friend Greg one of my groomsmen, he was coming into town because he was in Asheville for work. And it was like a warm blanket when he walked into the apartment. And I was like, oh my God, Greg. And Abe, my husband, decided to fly in our friend who was supposed to be on another trip, but for some stuff happened, he couldn't go. And so we found a flight from Tampa to Charlotte for like $130. And we just flew him in for the weekend because Abe was driving back down to St. Pete on Sunday.
Yeah.
So we flew him in. And so it was like the two of them, Carlos and Greg and Abe and me in the apartment. And then we invited some of our new Charlotte friends over Friday night. And it just felt so comfortable. And so when we went out Friday night to some of the gay bars here, I felt like I walked in like you couldn't tell me shit. Like I was like, I got my friends, bitch. I ain't the new person no more. They just here. It just felt so good to have my people.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I'm getting to know the new people here. So that was really cool. And then Saturday, we ended up busting up, dropping in on a birthday bar crawl. And met some really cool, like we met like this whole group of new gays on Saturday, which was really
awesome.
cool. So cool. And then went to their apartment for their birthday party. Like got invited to go to their Saturday night.
I love how you're just making friends like this.
Yeah, it was great. So friends are so important and connections are so important. And it's so interesting how powerful memory and a common shared past can make you feel when you are with someone from your past. And it's so soul healing because I felt, even though Greg was only there for 24 hours and Carlos was only there from Friday, and then him and Abe left Sunday morning to drive back to St. Pete, even though they were all there for just a short period of time, Sunday, I just felt like so fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I went and hung out with some new friends and we went to some new places that I normally would be like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to hang out at home. And I was like, I have my friends with me. I'm good. Let's go. Let's go meet some new people. So it just really is fulfilling. So I'm so glad that you got to do that with your friend this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very needed for all of us, I think.
All right. We are done for today. It's quick because Holly has to go get to the airport. Let's do some quick shout outs from the Facebook page. Laura Top Life. She's at the doctor's, but she was watching in the waiting room. She's going to listen back later.
Good.
Zinda said hello. Jason said hello. Amy said hello. Kelly said hello and is giving you love, Holly. And Jason said, ooh, Holly, not a whore in church, girl.
I know. I was talking about how mortified I am about some of the things that I said and did in my 20s. Just absolutely, like as a very empathetic, caring human now, like some of the shit that I pulled back in like the sorority days, like when I told all of the fucking girls during recruitment, I'm like, if there's any way that you can get a manicure, you need to.
Oh,
like, was I like, what the, like, am I the same person even? The answer is no.
No, we're, and thank God none of us are.
For real. So anyway, craziness.
Amy, she said, friends are super important. I wish I had some good friends to hang out with. And you know, it's never too late to make friends, Amy. Never too late. Whoever is around you. Yeah. Alan, thank you so much for listening. We love you too. And if you go back to some older podcasts, he asked, how was the wedding? There is whole recaps. Lots
of recaps
of the wedding. All right. We will see you. The schedule is going to be off a little bit this week. So
everything's crazy.
I don't know if it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, but we will get you in a podcast this week. We're just not sure exactly what day. We do apologize, but I feel like it's always kind of like this in the beginning of the summer. And then somewhere midway through fall where just stuff happens and we're like, wait, we're not on our normal Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I know.
We will get there. All right. We will see you later. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.
No, you're not going to play anything?
Nope.
No?
Do you want to?
Just not going to. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties. Sorry.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.